Magneto vs. Lex Luthor, with power suit, mind over metal. Energetic music pulses as the camera sweeps over a city caught in chaos. Skyscrapers twist and bend under unseen forces, their steel frames groaning. High-tech drones zip through the air, firing beams of energy that slice through the smoky skyline. On one side, Magneto hovers majestically above the streets, his cape billowing, eyes glowing with power. Metal debris swirls around him like a metallic hurricane. On the opposite side, Lex Luthor stands confidently atop a building in his gleaming power suit, energy shields flickering, a sly grin on his face. Close-ups capture civilians scrambling for safety, cars levitating off the ground, and electronic billboards flickering between images of our two titans. Hey there, comic fans. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the most epic, what-if, battles of all time. Today, we're tackling a showdown that's been fueling debates for ages. What happens when the master of magnetism faces off against the genius billionaire with a suit to rival all suits? That's right, Magneto versus Lex Luthor in his ultimate power suit. Buckle up, because this is gonna be one wild ride. So, here's the deal. We're pitting Marvel's magnetic mutant against DC's brilliant mastermind. It's a clash of raw mutant power versus cutting-edge human technology. Over the next few minutes, we'll break down their origins, powers, strengths, weaknesses, and theorize how this legendary battle could play out. No extreme technical jargon, just a fun, casual chat like we're hanging out at your favorite comic shop. 1.1 Magneto. Let's start with Magneto, also known as Erich Lehnsherr. Born in the late 1920s, his early life was anything but a picnic. Growing up during the rise of Nazi Germany, he faced unspeakable horrors, including the loss of his family during the Holocaust. These tragic experiences shaped his worldview, fueling his determination to protect mutant kind from persecution, no matter the cost. Magneto isn't just some guy who can bend spoons. He's a mutant with the ability to manipulate magnetic fields on a colossal scale. We're talking about controlling anything metal, steel, iron, you name it. He can generate powerful force fields, unleash electromagnetic pulses, and even affect the Earth's magnetic poles if he feels like stirring things up. Remember that scene in X-Men, Days of Future Past, where he lifted an entire stadium? Or when he dragged a submarine from the depths of the ocean in X-Men, First Class? Yeah, those are just glimpses of his capabilities. Comics have shown him doing even crazier stuff, like extracting the adamantium right out of Wolverine's bones. Ouch. 1.2 Lex Luthor, with power suit. Switching gears to Lex Luthor. Hailing from Metropolis, Lex is the epitome of human potential, a self-made billionaire industrialist with a genius-level intellect. Born and raised in the gritty suicide slum, he clawed his way to the top through a mix of brilliance and, let's be honest, some less than ethical tactics. Lex has an obsession with Superman, viewing the Man of Steel not as a hero, but as an alien threat to humanity. This drives him to constantly outdo himself, creating advanced technologies to level the playing field. Enter the Lexosuit, a high-tech power suit that amplifies his strength, grants flight, and is loaded with an arsenal of weapons and gadgets. In the comics, Lex has pulled off some pretty wild feats. He's been president of the United States, formed secret societies, and even allied with intergalactic beings, all in his quest for power and control. His suit has gone through numerous upgrades over the years, sometimes even incorporating alien technology to gain the upper hand. 2.1 Magneto's strengths. So, what makes Magneto such a heavyweight contender? For starters, his control over magnetism isn't limited to just pushing and pulling metal objects. He can manipulate the electromagnetic spectrum, which means he can generate and control electromagnetic energy in various forms. Need to block out communication signals? No problem. Want to create a wormhole? He's done that too. Magneto's also a seasoned strategist and leader. Having led the Brotherhood of Mutants and even the X-Men at times, he's got decades of experience in tactical planning and battlefield command. He's not just relying on brute force, he knows how to outthink his opponents and use their weaknesses against them. 2.2 Magneto's weaknesses. But let's keep it real, Magneto isn't invincible. Despite his immense power, he's still bound by physical limitations. Overexerting himself can lead to severe fatigue or even a temporary loss of his abilities. Without his magnetic shields up, he's vulnerable to physical attacks just like anyone else. Emotionally, Magneto carries a ton of baggage. His traumatic past and deep-seated fears about mutant persecution can cloud his judgment. Enemies have exploited his connections to his children, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, to get under his skin. His sense of morality is also a bit of a gray area, which sometimes leads to internal conflicts that could be a disadvantage in a fight. 2.3 Lex Luthor's strengths. Now, let's chat about Lex's strong suits, pun intended. Lex's primary asset is his brilliant mind. He's a master strategist, often 5 steps ahead of everyone else. His expertise spans various scientific fields, including robotics, engineering, and even xenobiology, thanks to his obsession with Superman. His power suit is a technological marvel. Depending on the iteration, it can amplify his strength to match or surpass that of metahumans, project powerful energy blasts, and come equipped with defensive measures like force fields. The suit's AI can analyze opponents' weaknesses in real time, giving Lex a tactical edge. Resourcefulness is another of Lex's hallmarks. With virtually unlimited funds, he can procure rare materials, fund massive projects overnight, and bribe or coerce others to assist in his schemes. Need a satellite? He probably owns 10. 2.4 Lex Luthor's weaknesses. On the flip side, Lex's reliance on technology is both a strength and a weakness. Without his suit and gadgets, he's just a regular guy, not exactly a match for someone like Magneto. If his tech fails or is compromised, he's in serious trouble. His overconfidence is legendary. Lex often underestimates his opponents, especially those he considers beneath him. This arrogance can lead to reckless decisions. He's so driven by his ego and personal vendettas that he sometimes overlooks critical details that could cost him the fight. 3.1 The battleground. Setting the stage is crucial. Imagine the battle unfolds in a sprawling, ultra-modern city, a blend of New York's hustle and Metropolis's futuristic skyline. The area is rich with metallic structures, vehicles, and technological installations. This environment provides Magneto with plenty of ammo, and gives Lex access to a variety of tech resources. Maybe the fight starts after Lex attempts to harness a new energy source, inadvertently attracting Magneto's attention. Both believe the other is a threat that must be neutralized. The stage is set for an epic confrontation. 3.2 Lex Luthor's preparation. You can bet your comic collection that Lex isn't going into this unprepared. He'd do his homework, analyzing Magneto's abilities in past encounters. Anticipating Magneto's control over metal, Lex could design a new version of his power suit using non-ferrous materials. Think advanced ceramics, polymers, or even experimental composites resistant to electromagnetic manipulation. He might integrate electromagnetic shielding to protect his suit systems from interference. Lex could deploy an army of drones or robots made from non-metallic materials to swarm Magneto, aiming to overwhelm him. He could also hack into city infrastructures to turn the environment against Magneto. 3.3 Magneto's approach. Magneto, being no rookie himself, would leverage his mastery over magnetism to the fullest. He could manipulate the city's metal structures, turning lampposts into projectiles or creating barricades. Disrupting electronic devices is child's play for him, potentially scrambling Lex's communications and targeting systems. Psychological warfare is also in Magneto's playbook. He might taunt Lex about humanity's dependence on technology or question his motives, aiming to provoke him into making rash decisions. Magneto could attempt to sense and exploit any metallic components in Lex's suit, no matter how small, to gain an edge. 3.4 Possible outcomes. Let's entertain a few scenarios. Scenario 1. Magneto's victory. Magneto could exploit even the tiniest metal elements in Lex's suit or surrounding environment. By overwhelming Lex with a barrage of metallic debris or collapsing structures onto him, he might incapacitate Lex before he can execute his strategies. If Lex's suit has any ferrous metals, Magneto could immobilize or dismantle it. Scenario 2. Lex Luthor's triumph. On the other hand, Lex's meticulous planning might pay off. By using non-metallic weaponry like sonic cannons, plasma beams, or chemical agents, he could bypass Magneto's defenses. If he can isolate Magneto in a controlled environment or trap him using energy fields that disrupt his powers, Lex could turn the tide. Scenario 3. Stalemate or alliance. There's always the wildcard option. Perhaps during their clash, a greater threat emerges, say, a mutual enemy or a catastrophe that threatens both their worlds. This could lead them to set aside their differences and collaborate, resulting in an epic team-up rather than a definitive victory for either side. 4.1 Technological versus mutant power. This battle isn't just about two individuals, it's a symbolic clash of ideologies. Magneto embodies the peak of mutant evolution, wielding powers that defy conventional science. Lex represents human ingenuity, pushing the limits of technology to stand toe-to-toe with beings far beyond ordinary humans. It raises the question, can technology ever truly rival or surpass natural-born abilities? Technology can be upgraded, replicated, and distributed, potentially giving more people access to power. But innate abilities are unique and often come with a deeper connection to the individual, offering versatility that's hard to replicate. 4.2 Ethical Implications. Let's not forget the moral gray areas here. Magneto's methods often involve extreme measures, sometimes putting innocent lives at risk to achieve his goals of mutant superiority. Lex, while believing he's protecting humanity, doesn't shy away from unethical actions like manipulation, betrayal, and even endangering the very people he claims to defend. Their battle could have catastrophic consequences for the city and its inhabitants. Collateral damage would be immense, ranging from destroyed infrastructure to potential loss of life. It brings up the classic debate about the responsibility that comes with great power, or technology, and the impact of personal vendettas on the larger population. 4.3 Fan Perspectives. The fan community is pretty divided on this one. Some argue that Magneto's mastery over magnetism would give him a clear advantage. He could crush Lex's suit like a soda can, one fan writes. Others believe Lex's intellect and resources level the playing field. Lex has taken down gods, he can handle Magneto. Discussions often delve into specifics, like whether Magneto could affect non-metallic materials or if Lex could invent a device to nullify Magneto's powers. Polls across social media show a nearly even split, with passionate arguments on both sides. It's a testament to how compelling both characters are and how their strengths ignite the imagination. So, after all that, where do we stand? Both Magneto and Lex Luthor are giants in their own universes, each with formidable powers, one through mutant abilities, the other through unparalleled intellect and technology. Magneto's control over magnetism and experience make him a nearly unstoppable force. Lex's genius and adaptive strategies make him an incredibly dangerous opponent who should never be underestimated. In the grand scheme, declaring an absolute winner is tough. If forced to choose, some might lean towards Magneto due to his overwhelming raw power and control over a fundamental force of nature. Others might pick Lex, banking on his ability to strategize and equip himself with just the right tools to exploit any weakness. Ultimately, it might come down to who strikes first or who makes the first misstep. And let's be honest, that unpredictability is what makes these hypothetical battles so darn fun. But hey, that's just our take. Now we want to hear from you. Who do you think would win in this epic clash, Magneto or Lex Luthor? Do you see a different outcome or an alternative scenario we didn't cover? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation rolling. A big shout out to all the comic book writers and artists who've brought these incredible characters to life over the years. Their creativity fuels our imaginations in these awesome debates. Stay tuned, because next time we're pitting two legendary teams against each other, the Avengers versus the Justice League. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep dreaming big and debating even bigger.